All right, so welcome to class.
Okay, thank you.
I'll be going over your essay to see areas we can improve in areas you've done well.
Okay.
So the question says weddings are getting bigger and more expensive. What is the reason for this? Is it a positive or negative development? So there are two parts to this question. The first part is what is the reason for this? The second part is this a positive or negative development? Now, for this type of essays, you have to answer each question, each separate part in a separate paragraph. So there are two parts of the question. This one has to be answered in a separate paragraph. This one too has to be answered in a separate paragraph.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
All right. So okay, first of all, let's check the word count. Do you know how many words you're supposed to write?
At least 250.
At least 250, okay? So to be on the safer side, you should always write more than 250.
Okay.
Do you know why?
No.
Because if your word count happens to be below the required counts, you'll be penalized. And if you use redundant words, you repeat words unnecessarily, you use words that are not directly impactful to your AC. Those words will be subtracted. And once they're subtracted and you drop below the minimum word count, that's when the penalty kicks in. So to
Oh,
be on the safe side, you're advised to write up to 280 to have a
okay.
high chance of getting a band 7.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes.
280. And as you can see here, you wrote just how many words
Two,
here?
227.
So you're already shutting yourself off a band 7. So you did not meet the minimum requirement word count. In terms of word count, you did not meet that. So make sure your words are at least 250. To be on the safe side, write up to 280. With
Okay.
the computer-based test, the word count will be displayed for you as you're writing. So that shouldn't be an issue on the test day.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So let's go into the main essay review. First part, okay, the first thing you write is the introduction. Let's see your introduction. The marriage ceremonies used to be according to one's budget. Although nuptial ceremonies are becoming more glamorous. Not although, however, would be the best linker
Okay.
because the goal of a linker is to connect one sentence to another, one
Okay.
paragraph to another, to ensure continuity, smooth transition. Okay.
Okay.
So you made a statement here that marriage ceremonies, I don't know why you put day. You can just start with marriage ceremonies. So anything I correct there will be in red. Things that you
Okay.
need to omit will be in red. So
Okay.
you can just go marriage ceremonies used to be according to one's budget. However, nuptial ceremonies are becoming more and more glamorous. So however is the best fit here. Why? Because if you want to link a positive and a negative statement, or a negative and a positive statement, use however or nevertheless. Okay?
Okay. Okay.
But pick one, please. Only one. Don't use slash in your essays because the other word will not be counted. You just waste your time writing those words. Okay?
Okay. Yes.
So the words that I add will be in bold and utilized so that you know it's an addition for you. Okay?
Okay. Okay.
So why did we use however here? Because this first statement this one here is contradictory to this one.
Okay.
You get?
Okay.
So the ceremonies used to be according to one's budget. However, it has changed. Now they are becoming more glamorous. So these are two opposite statements. One is positive, the other is negative. Okay, so however is the best linker to use here.
Okay.
You understand?
Yes.
Now, another thing is your choice of words. You say marriage ceremonies, now you're using nuptial
Mm,
ceremonies here, okay? So if
okay.
you link them together, since they are this linker is here connecting these two together, they become one continuous sentence. So you can remove
Okay.
this full stop and put a comma instead, okay?
Yes. Okay.
And then this will start with a small letter H, small letter N, so that this becomes a one continuous sentence. Then instead of repeating marriage ceremonies, instead of using nuptial ceremonies, you can just use they. You get me?
Yes, I do.
Like a pronoun to avoid repetitions, okay?
Yes.
So there they are becoming more glamorous. Don't know if you get me. This is just
Yes,
to
I do.
improve instead of to avoid repetitions, okay?
Yes.
So marriage ceremonies used to be according to one's budget. However, they are becoming more glamorous. Okay, you use however here. So this is now where you use although instead of however, okay?
Okay. Okay. Okay.
So although you use although to kind of like um form a compound or complex sentence.
Okay.
So although there are reasons for this, comma, I am, you don't need this one anymore. So when you're using although, you don't need a conjunction here, okay?
Okay. Okay.
So that's the essence of although. It helps you to form a compact complex sentence without the need for a typical conjunction like and.
Okay.
That's the work of although, okay?
Yes.
So although there are reasons for this, I am of the opinion that it is a downward trend, okay? A
Yeah.
negative trend.
Okay.
So downward might not be a perfect synonym in this case, okay?
Okay.
Downward trend, upward trend. Upward trend means something that is becoming popular. Downward trend means it's no more popular. So if you're trying to say
Okay.
this thing is negative, this word does not accurately depict it, okay? If you are not
Okay.
sure of a synonym, you're not 100% sure, just use it the way it is in the question, okay?
Okay.
Negative development. So trend is okay, perfect. But this downward has to change, okay?
Okay.
So instead of negative, you can say it's not a positive. It's still the
Okay.
same thing as negative, okay?
Yes. Okay.
So be clever in your write-up. You know, the synonym for beautiful can be pretty, right?
Yes.
We are very sure of that one.
Yes.
It's pretty. So you can use that one confidently. But if you're not sure of anyone, just use the one that you're sure of, okay? Copy the way it is in the
Okay.
question.
Okay.
Awesome. So what did you do well in this introduction? Introduction is good apart from the slight grammatical and word use that we change.
Yes.
So you had a good opening statement. Marriage ceremonies used to be according to one's budget, which is tied to what the essay topic is about. Okay. Then
Yes.
you paraphrase the question. They are becoming more glamorous, which is what the question says. So you should have an opening statement, you paraphrase your question, and then your opinion. So the question has two parts. What is the reason? So I like how you stated it here. Although there are reasons for this addresses the first part. Okay.
Yes.
Then you now address the second part if it's a positive or negative development in your introduction. So that's good. Your opinion should always be in the introduction.
Okay.
So these are the things you did well. You had a good opening statement, you paraphrased the question, and then you stated your opinion. Perfect. Now, the first paragraph, now when you're writing essays, just aesthetically, you can indent the first line of each paragraph, okay?
Okay.
That's the correct way to do it. Just aesthetics anyway. To begin with, celebrations of joining a man and a woman in holy matrimony are getting more elaborate because of the emergence of social media, okay? That's a good reason, but this your assumption here, celebrations of joinings of a man and a woman. So the word has changed. It's not marriage is no more between a man and a woman, okay? So
Okay.
you need to be like global. You shouldn't restrict your ideas to just one segment of people, okay?
Yes.
So the
Okay.
question say wedding, you can use marriage, okay?
Okay. Okay.
You can say the joining of holy matrimony, okay?
Okay.
Among people, in
Yes.
general, okay?
Okay. Okay.
So you don't restrict it to one gender, but this is a good reason. So your reason is clearly stated here why this thing is becoming bigger and more expensive. It says because of the emergence of social media. Good. So the next thing you need to do is to explain how. So how has social media contributed to the glamorous nature of our weddings? So that is to say, you can add that is to say, it helps
Okay.
to increase your word count and it's also sound push.
Okay.
Okay. That is to say, people are either trying to outdo themselves or they are trying to copy others. Uh, yeah, you're trying to explain, but it's not fully explanatory, right?
Okay.
So you need to like, this is where you showcase your writing talent. Explain to how does social media affect um, grand weddings? Okay.
Okay.
So you can begin to explain. That is to say, due to social media, a lot of people are exposed to other people's lifestyles. So once they log on to social media and they see uh, other people with extravagant weddings, they are tempted to want to outdo those people.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say. Might not be
Yes, I do.
perfect, but I'm trying to explain it better. The goal is to make your readers understand how social media is responsible for this.
Okay.
I'm just sowing the idea into you now. You see the way I started, right? So
Yes.
social media has connected people from all over the world. Unlike before, where we don't know what's going on other people in each other's life, especially people that live far and wide. Uh, Nowadays, we now have access to their personal lifestyles, and it's very common to see people post pictures of extravagant weddings all over social media.
Okay.
So this puts people under pressure to try to outdo these people, these strangers they see online. Okay,
Mm. Yeah.
making them spend more than is necessary to have a big wedding. You see how we're trying to explain this thing now?
Yes.
Now, this not only makes it clearer for your readers to understand, it also boosts your word count. From
Yeah.
all what I just said, now if you write it down, now you see that word count will not be a problem for you. You get?
Yes.
So
Yes.
that's how you boost your word count. That's how you give clarity to your readers. That's how you explain your point. So this one has to be explained. It needs to be better explained, okay?
Yeah.
Hi, so sorry for calling it.
Mhm.
A quick question. This is your last Schengen that you did. When you did your traveling with did you say
If you have people nearby, mute yourself from time to time so they don't leak any secret in this video.
Okay. Thanks. I would.
All right. So, for instance, the pre-wedding shoot was not popular up until the existence of the Instagram app. So how did you arrive at this conclusion? This is kind of like a bold assumption because pre-wedding shoots could have been existing, just that we're not aware of it. Okay?
Okay.
So, okay, you said it's not popular up until the existence of the Instagram app. So how does this contribute to weddings becoming popular? So why is this the reason for weddings becoming more popular? Okay. So your example is supposed to be illustrative. It's supposed to illustrate the point you raised here. That is, weddings are becoming more elaborate because of social media. That's what you said. So give us an example of how social media has influenced weddings to become more elaborate. You got me?
Yes.
So you can give a typical personal example from your perspective or from a common one that's clear for everybody to see. Like over the weekend, Temi Otedola had her wedding. That was really grand. And it's been in talks all over the social media since how many days now. So that's a typical example. If somebody watching her wedding now on social media will be under pressure to want to outdo her. Okay? But the truth is, before, if there was no social media, that person wouldn't have had access to know that Temi had her wedding. So they wouldn't have been under that pressure. So this goes to show how social medias like Instagram can influence many people to carry out bigger weddings. I don't know if you get the idea I'm trying to pass across.
Yes, I do.
So your example should be illustrative and illustrate the point you're trying to pass. Okay? So you can say, for instance, over the weekend, one of Nigeria's richest business tycoon, Temi Otedola, got wedded, and the pictures of the extravagant wedding flooded the internet. And my younger sister saw the photos and promised that she was going to make sure that her own wedding is a lot bigger than Temi's own. Okay, so this
Yes.
clearly shows how social media can influence people to want to do a bigger wedding than they had hoped. Something like that, anyway. So again, not perfect, but it's something for you to work on. You get the idea, right?
Yes, I do.
All right. So, however, I am of the opinion. So since we use however here, you can use nevertheless here. Okay, just to interchange your words. Okay, to avoid repetition. So, however, I am of the opinion that it is a problem as the money spent on these celebrations are sometimes borrowed. So this is not directly a negative effect. It's borrowed doesn't mean it's a problem. What if they can afford to pay it later? Okay. So you can say you need to make it negative, more negative than this. You can say it puts newly wedded couples under immense financial stress. Okay. Or
Okay. Okay.
it makes it leads to huge financial losses for the couples involved. Okay. Or it can affect other important aspects, other crucial aspects or areas of life for the newlyweds. I don't know if you get. Then
Yes, I do.
your explanation, you can now use the fact that they are borrowed as part of your explanation. So let me put it now. However, I'm the opinion that this is a bad thing, okay, or a negative thing. Okay?
Okay.
They didn't ask you whether it's a problem or not, okay? Not necessarily a problem anyway, it's just what people prefer. So it's a negative thing, okay?
Okay.
So your choice of words matters a lot. So you don't change the meaning of the question, okay?
Okay.
So if
Okay.
you say something is a problem, it's kind of different from when it's a negative. There are things that are not a problem, but they have a negative trend, okay, to it.
Okay.
So, however, I am the opinion that this is a negative thing because it puts newly wedded couples under immense financial pressure. Okay,
Yes.
full stop. Then you explain. This is because a lot of these funds are borrowed money, which most of these people do not have. And so a lot of them are tempted to go take loans from the bank or worse still, loan sharks. And when they cannot pay back these loans, they can get in serious trouble that can get them wrecked financially for life. Okay?
Okay.
Now give an example. Again, studies are okay, but it shows that okay, for example, my younger sister or my best friend, okay, held uh borrowed about 10 million naira from Lapo Finance to hold an elaborate wedding. And after 5 months of the wedding, they were struggling to pay the they couldn't afford to pay because there were some unforeseen circumstances that affected their businesses. So they had to sell a lot of their properties to pay back the loan, putting them in serious financial stress. Okay.
Okay.
And you could even like make it more believing. That's a personal example. Or you can say, for example, in the street where I live in Lagos State, a man was caught trying to commit suicide by jumping over the bridge into the lagoon. And when he was rescued by passers-by, he confessed that he borrowed over 10 million naira to hold a wedding for a big wedding for his to hold a big wedding, and then he couldn't he has not been able to pay, which made the bank to send all manner of threats to him, causing him to fall into depression, and he wanted to end it all. So this goes to show how much pressure these borrowed funds can put on newlyweds. You see the way I'm trying to capture my ideas in an example.
Yes.
The point
Yes, I
I'm
am.
trying to make, I'm trying to capture it in an example that convinces your reader, because the goal of an example is to convince your reader that this point is stated here. Okay?
Yes.
What was the point? As the money spent on these celebrations, again, I say you can make it better, right?
Yes.
Okay, on these celebrations, input couples in serious, can put couples under intense financial stress. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So this is like to make your point more negative. You get me?
Yes, I
Because
do.
if you say they are borrowed, it's not necessarily a problem until when it causes negative effect. So this is how writing is all about passing information that convinces your reader. So there are certain ways you manipulate your words to pass across that message clearer. So that's what we are doing here, okay? So it can put couples under immense financial stress. This makes it more serious, okay? Then, or you can even say it can make couples, you can put couples under, or it can lead to depression. Yeah, it's as simple as that. It's a negative thing. So you remember the explanation we did, right? How the money is borrowed, and when they cannot pay, it can result in unnecessary pressure from the lenders to pay back this debt. Okay? Either through constant reminders or embarrassment among friends and families. Okay? Which could put them
Yes.
under serious stress and eventually lead to depression. That's how you explain. Then example, you can use your own personal example from your friend that I gave earlier, or you can give somebody that lives down the street. It's still personal. The goal of an example is to show how you knew that information, okay? How did you know that information? Because it happened to somebody living on your streets, okay? Compared to this one, when you said studies done in Nigeria in the year 2022, what study? It's obvious that you are just making this up. Okay? So, while it's okay to give studies or statistic examples, it should only be a last resort. Okay? As in, if you're struggling to give an example, that's when you can give something like this so that it's not completely blank. But your best choice should be a factual example, like that tennis wedding I talked about in the first paragraph is a factual example because it actually happened. So you can give a factual example, a personal example. Um, Again, this is just basic corrections. The full training materials is different. Okay, I have all the materials for training, the tips and strategies. So if you need that, you can reach out to me for it. Okay. So this is just those ones has different types of examples and how to go about it. They are contained in that training. All right.
Okay.
But you do understand the idea on explanations and examples now, right?
I do. I do.
Okay. In conclusion, wedding celebrations are becoming bigger. Okay. Since the discovery of the internet. You can just say because of the discovery of the internet, okay? Because they
Okay.
ask for the reason. You know, internet is not the same as social media, right?
Yes, yes. Internet is broader.
It's broader. So I don't agree that the internet made weddings large, okay? So you want to be careful with your choice of words. Besides, this is not what you said. Your conclusion should summarize the point you raised. Your paragraph said social media, now you're talking about internet. These are two completely different things, okay? So you're shooting yourself in the feet because of the influence of social media. Because of the influence of social media. And I am of the opinion that it is not a good trend as it could result in the families involved paying back money borrowed for a long time. We talked about it, right? Make it more negative
Yes.
for the families involved. Okay? Full stop. That's the summary of what we're trying to say in that second body paragraph. So your example, your conclusion should summarize the points you raised in the body paragraph, okay?
Okay.
So summarize the points you raised in the body paragraph, the point you raised in paragraph 1 and paragraph 2. Put it there, okay? So,
Okay.
yeah, overall, you did a good job. Your points are there. It's just your explanation and your examples that need to be worked on. Then your choices of words, internet, social media, okay? Borrowed
Yes.
funds. The idea you're trying to pass is that these people can get in trouble because they borrow money. So you need to select better words to convey the thing you want to say to make it more serious, okay? That's
Okay.
writing for you. Get it? Do you have any question?
Mm, no.
Okay. No. All right. So take note of that. Major correction here is just the words to use, your choice of synonyms, and then you need to work on explaining your point really well to pass across your message. And then you need to give matching examples that illustrate your point perfectly. All right?
All right.
Okay, so that's the end of the class.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. All right, let me just stop the recording here and then.